and Happy New Year. I'm back. I just took a little break, um, and but I'm back, and I wanted to just do something that I've actually used a similar die before, but we're gonna do just a generic 5x7 card. We're getting ready to come into the love month, so I thought, you know what, let's do a little something. But first of all, again, I wanted to say welcome to Crafting with Lola and Oscar. Happy New Year. Thank you everyone who have subscribed, and to all the new subscribers since I last put up a video. So we're back on track. So I just wanted to again say thank you guys, and I hope you enjoy the project that we have for today. Today we're going to be using there's a die that is by Crafters Companion. It was in a series of dies, and we're going to be using this to make a really beautiful card that either you can use for anniversary, you can use it for the love month that we're getting ready to come up on. What I want to do is kind of go over some of the things that we are going to be needing to use for this project. So let's take a look at some of those things right now. You're going to need the die, and I'm going to hold this up closer so that you can see what it looks like. It's called Champagne Celebration. That's the die. And some of the things that I used some pigment ink. And I'll explain to you where I used it at, but I'm just saying these are some of the things I used. Some pigment ink. Of course, you need the embossing powder because that's what this is for. So you need some pigment ink. Some of the pens that I use, and I'll explain again how I use them. You have a liner pen. This is a metallic silver pen. And then this is just a black Illustrator pen. And again, I'll show you what those things are, or how I utilize them. Now, these are just suggested things that you might want to use when you're making this card. Also, I use some nesting dies. There's a series of nesting dies, but this particular one, I think it has 5 dies. I just used the two larger dies. And then I also used, this is an Anna Griffin die, actually. And you might be able to see, yeah, it says Love You. Yeah, there you go. Backwards. It says Love You. And so you want to use some type of die. And then last but not least, I absolutely love this stuff. It's called Stick It. And a lot of times when you have small, intricate dies or words or whatever, you want to layer it up. This is great. It's actually just an adhesive. You peel off the back, you stick it to the paper, and then you put your die and you run it through. And that way you don't have to use a glue or tape or something else like that. So I use this for a number of things. So those are things that basically I use for this project. And here again, here's the die set for that particular die. It's called Sketch. Yes, it's Elements. It's by Gemini, and it's called Sketched Fancy Rectangles. But I'll have all these things in the narrative of the tools that I use, so you don't have to worry about remembering that. All right, let's take a look at that card. So I've done a lot of work because I didn't want to have to make the video too long. So let's take a look at this die. What I did was this is just a basic 5x7 card. And let's see if I can bring this. I'm a little nervous about not bringing it up. But it's a 5x7 card. And what I did was I used the pigment ink. And then also I used a couple little embellishments. As you can see, the little pearly things are not shining quite the way I want them. Okay, and then also because I wanted to make this different. Now, one thing about a lot of these cards, and this is one of the points I wanted to make, is that once after I embossed it and everything with the pigment ink, I wanted to have this open, but not where you can put your finger through. A lot of times with cards like this, especially this big frame of a card, it's like you put a piece of paper behind it, but where do you put the sentiment? So with this card, I did something a little different because I wanted you to be able to see uh, be able to put a sentiment here instead of like putting it on the back, but I wanted it inside the card. So I'm going to go ahead and put this card together, and then I'm going to show you how you can make a card like this and put a sentiment in at the same time. I also have some acetate here, and I used some construction acetate because I wanted to be a little bit thicker. Normal acetate is it's just thin, and the construction is a little sturdier, and it's going to be nice. It's going to make the front of the card nice and sturdy. So I'm going to turn this around so that I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to go ahead and stick this on to the the acetate. One of the things that's good with acetate is this stuff called red liner tape, and that's just what it is. It just has the liner is red, but you can't really see the tape that it doesn't leave. Like if you use other tape, you can kind of see more of the lining. Now you can see it here, but once you stick it onto the paper, it's just a little cleaner, and also it's really nice and sturdy. It's good for acetate. I cut off all my fingernails. All right. So we're going to put the acetate on. Oh, jeez, jeez. And one thing I noticed a lot of times when your acetate can be so nice and clean, by the time you finish working with the craft, the acetate is dirty. So you can always go back over this with, a wet, no, I won't say a wet rag, but a wet rag. I'm tongue tied. But you can always clean it up. That's the bottom line. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this on. And I want to make sure I do it nice and close to the edge of the card. And again, this is a 5x7. Okay, so we have that there. All right. I knew that was going to happen. Not sure why, when I measured this, it was a perfect close. Let's see if we can get it to close perfectly. And I might have to burnish it down a little bit. And burnishing means that you take something like a ruler or, a bone folder. This is what, anything to kind of make it stay down a little bit. Okay, so we'll just burnish that and it'll sit down a little bit. And then it'll sit down better. And then in the end, I'll probably have to trim off a few little things that I see already. So there's just the card here with your acetate. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to put something behind it like that so that you can see that. But see, now it's like if I were to attach this, it's like, you got to do something with that, right? All right, so this is what we're going to do. Here, as I've created, you have the lining of the card, and then you're going to have a place where you can actually write a sentiment or put a sentiment into the card. But I wanted you to be able to not see that straight way because you don't want to be able to see the words in here. So what I have done is I have a little, it's about 1 inch wide. I'm going to actually put this down like this here. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my inside of the card here. This is the part where you're going to actually write onto the card. We'll put that together, okay, and line it all up. I want you to just be able to see the visual of what I'm doing here, and then I'll paste it all down, okay? Okay, and then this one will go here. And then this one will go here. So that when you open the card, You can close the card like this. You won't have a problem with that. There won't be anything here. Once you open it, and then you have the sentiment here with a pretty little heart here, and then you can put whatever words you want. Okay, so the first thing what I want to do is I want to get this going in the right direction. Alrighty. Want to have this right. Alright, so I do need to put another piece of tape down. Break right here. Okay. Alright, so we're going to take the tape off of here. And then I will have to trim this a little bit, but that's okay. I like double-sided tape, but sometimes it is a pain. Now, the main thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I have this flush with the end of the card here. So I'm going to just go ahead and lay this over. And I'm going to actually move all this and do it just like this. Okay. So we have that piece in there. And now I can go ahead and I can put in the inside section of the card. And that's going to be where I don't have it. And again, what I do a lot of times is that I don't finish up the card because I never know what sentiment I want to put in. So when I do a card online, when I do the video, I never actually put in a sentiment unless I know exactly what I want to put in. So I want to, I'm going to put a piece of tape on this end here. And again, you're watching, remember Crafting with Lola and Oscar. And today we're working on a card utilizing the Crafters Companion Creator card. And it's actually called, it's not a place to remember, I apologize. It's called Champagne Celebrations. That's what the card is actually. The die is called, okay? So we're going to go ahead and put some tape on this section here. And again, I'm just putting the card together. All the work has been done because, to eliminate the video being too long. This is just a basic 5x7 card with some mats and layers. And again, thank you everyone who's commented on the channel. You guys have been watching the videos, and thank you so much for supporting. Like I said before, when I first logged on, I just took a little break for the holidays. And I know that, most people have families and stuff, and you guys have been with your families and traveling and, all that kind of stuff like that. So you're not sitting around watching videos of mine, so I'm not offended. It's okay, right? All right, so now we're going to go ahead and set this portion of the card in here, but I want to make sure that I do not mess up. So I'm going to actually flush it to the center, to the inside of the card. And when you're doing black on black, it's kind of hard to see. Let me find something to okay, a little bit more. And I'm going to fold this to make sure that it I think that's good. It's a little bit more like that. Okay, but this is going to be the inside of your card, and here is the part. I'm not going to actually put this down permanently because this is where I'm going to actually put my sentiment. And what I wanted to show you is, so I'm just going to take this down so that you can have just a general visual of how this would look in here. And again, you don't have to do it exactly like this. It's just, giving you a general idea. Okay. Now, what I did was, this is a stitched edge. When you die cut this, you're going to see the stitch. But if you want the stitched edge to be more pronounced, that's where you either want to go over it with one of the liner pins like this, and so you have to mark each one, or I use this fine edge tip so that you can actually see the black, so it was a little bit more pronounced. So I'm just going to sit this in here like this. Try to get it as centered as possible. Okay, and again, this is where your sentiment would be. Okay, and then the next thing that you would have is that you're going to have a piece that's here. It's actually going to go this way. Okay, and then these pieces are going to go back to back. Okay, right here. They'll go back to back on this little tab right here. But before I do, you know what? Let's see. I better make sure everything's lined up again. We'll lay that down like that so you can see it, how it would appear. Okay, and then the card would close up. The card would close up. Isn't it funny how when you do this and then it never works out? Let's see. And I've been messing with this all week long, trying to come up with this idea to get it to close right. Never fails. Something goes wrong. Alright, so it looks like I might have to cut a little bit of this piece right here off. So I'm just going to trim it down just a little bit. I don't want to trim it too much. And the idea of this card is, again, so that you can have a place where you have all the focal part of the card, and you still have a nice place where you can actually write on the card and put a sentiment there. Oh, it needs to be cut some more. Let's write it first. I don't know. Okay, cut a little bit more off. Hopefully I won't cut too much this time. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this piece, what I did was, this is a die that is from, I've had this die for a very long time. It is a Crafters Companion die. I can't remember what the name of it is. But it's one of those easel dies. These are years ago. This was the hard easel. I'll put it again in the description. But I thought it would just be really pretty just to put something right here. And so for the purposes of the video, I'm just going to go ahead and tape it down temporarily. Okay. All right, so this one would go here. And then, and now what's going to happen is it's going to go back to back. Okay. So this is going to be glued onto this. Okay. And then this silver part will be glued on here. And hopefully everything's going to come out right. I can only hope, right? Okay. What's going on here? I don't know. All right. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this, and I'm going to close the card up to make sure that it is going to close. Again, I can always trim it. Not that big of a deal. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and lay this down. And then the last piece is going to be this silver piece, which will go like this, and it'll close up. Okay. Remember, if you guys ever have any questions, you can always shoot me an email at danielslola, the number 35, at yahoo.com. All right, let's take all this double-sided tape off. I was going to use glue, but I think glue, the one thing about the glue, especially if you use the Call glue, the Crafters Companion Call glue, it's nice because it gives you room to move your stuff around and get it nice and lined up. But sometimes when you're crafting like this, sometimes it is not as convenient because it doesn't dry. You know, it doesn't dry. But then the catch-22 of this is you put down the tape, and if it's all unlined, then it's all messed up. You can't win, y'all. You can't win. All right, so we have this here. This is the silver part, and I'm going to close this up. And I'm going to turn it around like this because I want to make sure I do not, because once I put this down, it is down. And it's going to be stuck to the other one as well. I'm a little nervous about this. I'm trying to decide which way I want to do. I think I'm going to put it, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it to the white, because that way I know. Alright. If there's any trimming needs to be done, it'll be done on this side right here. Okay. And there's some trimming that needs to be done. Now this should fold over. It has maybe a little buckle into it. but it takes a little while to kind of get it going the way you want it. I thought I had it, but clearly I didn't. Okay. It's so funny when I started working on this, it was like, oh, okay, everything's gonna work. It's gonna lay flat. It's gonna do the way I want it to do. All right, so as you can see, there's an area here where I need to trim it, and that's not a big deal. I can get that all trimmed up. I can work on the area that needs to be trimmed down and made flat. I need to cut this off, this little area right here. I cut that off, but I'm not going to do it on camera because I want to make sure that, I want to make sure it's right before I get to cutting, because I do not want to have to make this card all over. Now, the advantage of glue, now if I had to use glue, right, this really would have worked out, because then I could keep moving it and moving it to get it to where I want it to be. There's a little area here that I'm not happy with, but I can always put something here, put ribbon here, put something there. But it's just in general. Now, that die that I use, Love You, which is, I cut it twice. And this is where that stick it came into play, which was really, really well. I cut this twice, and I use that adhesive to connect the two together, and then the adhesive is on the back, so that now if I want to go ahead and put this here, I could put that there, or I could, put it across here. But I think I'm going to put it maybe like right there. And again, I'm going to do this temporarily because I think I kind of want to cut it again and put a red shadow behind it, so the silver and silver won't be on it. So we'll just put this here just for purposes of the video. Just again to show you in general how the card would be. So once we close it up, this would be your card. You could also put it on the front if you want. That's up to you. It just depends on how you want to do it. And again, this is just a general idea of how that you can create one of these creator cards with an area that has also an area where you can write. So you keep the beauty of the card, which is so, so pretty. I really love that. Okay, again, I use embossing powders, some little gems on it. And then once they open it up, then you've got an area where you have a design, or you can have a whole area where you can write on it. All right, so after we've done the card, I've got the card all done. Now what I want to do is I wanted to create a box for this to go in. And again, I'm going to fix some of the little boob part, like the little part you see kind of sticking up. No worries, I'm going to fix that. I want to close this so it'll stay. Okay, now what I did was I used what is called the enveloper, the Crafters Companion Enveloper, to create an envelope. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's that purple. I'm going to show you, and I've shown you guys this in videos before. It's this little doodad right here. Okay, I'm just going to do it like that so that you can have a general idea. Okay, and I use that to create an envelope. And an envelope. It's like a box and an envelope. However you say that. Okay, and so what I did was I cut a piece of 10 by 10 and 3/4 squared. Squared means that it's the same size on all sides. Okay, and then I wanted it to fit. I wanted this card to fit in this box. Okay, and it does. And then you use there's a little guide that comes with the machine, and it tells you where to score at. Okay, that's a whole different video. If you go back to one of my older videos, and I'll try and link it, because I think I did actually do a video a long time ago about this. But that's how you would do that. And it tells you, if you say, okay, this is the size I want, it tells you what size paper you need, and it tells you the positions to score it at, and it tells you the letters to score it at. And that's how you do that. I have taken some I tried to color coordinate it, so I did some matte and layering for the top, the size of the box, and then here is the same thing, card, so to speak, and I wanted to go ahead and put this down and create the box. Now this paper almost doesn't look red, but it's actually red matte. It's quite pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the box. And then this card will be for somebody. I don't know. I'll probably give it away or add it to the collection of the thousands of things I've made. Alright, so this will go here. I should have had on my glasses. Okay, it's going like that. Well, you know what? I should have did it like this. There we go. That way you can see it better. Alright, so we have that one there. I will be striving to go back to doing 2 videos a week as well. I hate this tape. Oh my god, it's just like, oh, I have like a love-hate relationship with this double-sided tape. Oh, Jesus. Alright. So we're using some silver glitter. And then we'll just try and put this on here, and hopefully I can get it nice and even. I don't know about you, but I always have problems with getting stuff even. I don't know if it's just me or what. I swear, y'all. And sometimes you can't fix it, you know? You just can't fix it. It's going to have to be. Alright, so we have that there. Okay. And then the last thing, not the last thing, then this has that double-sided, I ran this through, that stick it. Remember I told you the adhesive? So that'll go on there. Now, I'm going to put this here. It probably needs a little bit more stickity-doo, but for right now, for the purposes of, hopefully it'll stick down there. It may not stick as well as I would like it to. So I'll probably add some extra adhesive to it. So we have that there. Okay, and then again we have the sentiment again, where we could always put that somewhere on the box if you want to. That's up to you. Okay, and again this is going to be an envelope, so we'll set our card inside just to make sure that it will fit, which it will. Okay, just like that. Ready? Oh, why did I cut my nails? I don't like doing long nails, and they had grown so long. And it's not until when I go to do something with crafting that I realize that I needed my nails. Do you guys do that too? Then you're struggling, or you have a real bad itch or something. You know what I'm just saying? Alright, so let me put this together. So this double-sided tape can be a little challenging sometimes, but we've already secured the inside of the box. Okay, and then I'm going to just uh, close this up. Now, a lot of times I find that when I make these boxes, sometimes I move it over too far, and the box ends up being lopsided. So you have to kind of really, you want it squared off, but I don't want it to be where it's lopsided. Now you could make a box that has a top and a lid, but sometimes this is also kind of nice to just do like an envelope box. Now I'm going to put the card, I'm going to go ahead and take the card, sit it inside for right now. Okay. Because I want to make sure that it is nice and square. Before I push this part down all together. Should just cut these little tabs off. Now I'm being careful. Because I do this all the time, so I'm really trying to work out hard to make sure that this is nice and square. So that's why it's taking me a few minutes. And I have adhesive here and a little bit right there. So I'll take the card out and then I'm just going to flip it over and then try and just with my hand to make sure that it all stays nice and secure. And sometimes I do have the ability to put tape right in the, like right down in here, right here, just a little piece. And even if you put just a little piece, because again, like I said, the double-sided tape, it don't always do what you want it to do. So I'm going to put a piece of this tape right on that crease. It goes right across that crease. This crease right here. All right, so card goes inside, and then we can close it up. And then you can close it up however you'd like to close it up. You can make it do whatever you want to do. I'm just going to do this for right now, again, because it's temporary. It's temporary, because I want to go ahead and put the... So now you have it nice and square, okay? And then we have the Love You, which can still go down here. And then this didn't have enough adhesive on it, so I have a couple of things which I think I'm gonna do instead of trying to spray it, because I think if I spray it with adhesive, it may end up messing up the box, and I don't want it to do that. So I'm just gonna use some regular glue, some regular call-on glue, and I'm going to put it just in certain areas. Hopefully I won't make too much of a mess. So for the big section, I'm going to go ahead and definitely put down. And you don't want to put down too much, especially when you're dealing with glitter, because it will decolor your paper. So I'm just trying to put it on the big areas for right now. Yeah, it'll mess your paper up really bad, because once it starts running, you're gonna be like, oh no, what happened? So you can see I'm just putting just a little bit down so that the major parts will stick. A piece on the star. Just a little bit. That little star right there. Okay, so let me move the sentiment. We'll put this down. Okay, there we go. Now the edges aren't going to stick, and that's fine because I don't have glue on the edges, but I can always go back and fix that as well. Oh! Now I can take, I thought I had glue on there. Oh yeah, I had glue on there. There we go. I just don't have glue on the thinner parts. Okay. And again, that's fine for right now because I'll use my little, I have like a little glue thing like this, has a little fine nib, and then that's where you can put your glue there. But I don't want to mess it up, so I think I'm going to leave good enough alone for right now. And again, temporary, just put a little piece of tape right here for right now, just so that it'll lay flat. And then this is the card for the week. This is the project for the week. We're coming up again on Love Week. So if you guys have any desires, any ideas or things you might want to see me make, you can always shoot me an email. Remember, shoot me an email at Crafting with Lola and Oscar. You can also comment on the page itself and say, hey, Lola, can you, because if you guys remember the last project I actually did, I actually created something because one of the subscribers said that they wanted to see me make something. I can't remember what you think I would remember, but I don't. All right, so we have this here, and then this box is really quite pretty. We don't have to even put this here. This is just to go somewhere else. It's just an extra one. So here's the project for the week. Hope you guys like it. Okay. And then we just have it matte and layered all around. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys.